13 love, 13 knowledge, 13 wisdom, 13 respect. This is your creation 13. Today we're going to be identifying objects in your household and why it's so important to fill out the energies within your household, fill out the energies outside your household. A lot of people don't understand or realize that objects harness energy. Let me say that again. Objects harness energy, and they can be of a positive energy and they can be of a negative energy. Especially if the previous owner of these objects were sorcery or they perform witchcraft, whatever it is, it's going to be attached to an object, right? This goes into the other scenarios of past loved ones too, whether it be of yours or who's attached to that object. So, say an uncle could be attached to an object, so a part of his essence, his ether, is attached to this object, and it allows that entity to remain here in some way, shape, or form. And what is expressed from that uncle or aunt or person in general, right? Whether it be it's sadness, uh, happiness, love, hate, whatever it may be, it's going to be harnessed in an object, harnessed in a book, a vase, action figure, uh, posters. It could be anything. It could even be a bed or uh, a drawer, a table, whatever it is. Their essence can be attached to it. Therefore, you can end up having spiritual activity within your household, and it can affect you and everybody in that household. One of the most important things to realize is observing how you feel, observing the thoughts that process through your mind, and feeling them out. Can you identify them as you? Or are you identifying them as a strange source of energy that is surrounding your area? It's so very important to understand this. I feel the more and more that people understand this, the more and more life is going to make sense, right? Some people have chaos and disorder their whole life, right? And it could simply just mean that they got objects that have entities, spiritual energy attached to these objects. So therefore, they're just continuously downloading them, and you have to get rid of it some way, shape, or form. So it's important to understand that. So how do you identify these objects? One of the most important things to look for in your house is, what do these objects mean to you? What do these objects mean to you? That's one. Number two is, where did you get these objects? Um, and identify those objects. And three is, view your current life and then view your past life. View the objects that you bought in your past life, right? The past, not like a previous lifetime, but the past. View those objects, and then your current present, and view those objects. Because some people will have a transformation, spiritual transformation. They decide to go on that spiritual journey. So they got to leave everything behind. But they can end up having past stuff. Like, say, if you were in witchcraft or performing different kind of rituals that can harness spirits, different entities that can be uh, that you end up putting within your vessel, within your being, right? It could be anything, right? Any kind of spell books, any kind of sexual oriented books, things like that that can distract you and keep you away from your spiritual journey. It's important to identify these things because they're going to keep tugging you. You're never going to be able to progress in life if you constantly have the past lingering somewhere. So you have to get rid of that stuff. And you may not think it hurts your energy, but it does. And you'll feel a lot better. You'll feel relief when you get rid of these objects, right? When you get rid of them. Because you're starting to cleanse out your home, right? Starting to cleanse your home. And it's important to uh, understand that, especially when you move into a new house, right? Just like myself, we moved into this house. We've been here for a year. We've had a lot of spiritual activity, and it was really hard to kind of identify it at first. But basically, I came to the conclusion that it was from the previous owner that lived here, right? There was a lot of different kind of energies, because you got to realize when you live in a house for so long, your energy goes into the walls, it goes into the ground, it surrounds the area. So whether it be of love, sadness, whatever kind of emotion there is, it's going to absorb into the house. So when you move in, you got to cleanse the house, you got to fill out the house, and then you begin to put your energy into the house as well. But you got to pay attention to objects in your house as well, right? It's so very important. Like myself, you know, um, I may buy items, and they could be old items, right? Um, so you have to pay attention to it, right? You have to pay attention to the energies. And if you feel those energies, you don't know how to cleanse an item, then you have to get rid of it. You do. And it's important to understand all these weird supernatural phenomenons, right? And people are starting to see this more and more and more. Um, just the conversation I had really helped me identify where people are at now, right? 10 years ago, you couldn't talk about this stuff because they think you're crazy, or they put you in a set category of like new age or things like that, right? But this is just basic stuff, man. Man, my daughter, man, she's just been experiencing a lot of things. She's been talking to me a lot more about her dreams and things like that. It's just identifying where these energies are coming from, because they're not ours. But like I said, it's attached to this big mainframe. All this energy is on this planet, right? A lot of negativity, a lot of sorceries happen, a lot of witchcraft has happened. Um, and it's just like it attacks your mainframe. It attacks your matrix structure, right? Each one of us has our own matrix structure, and then we go out into the world. We leave our house, right? We're entering into different mainframes and programs and uh, all these things. So we have a conflict of different energies moving around back and forth as well, and we end up downloading everybody else's emotions and things like that. But you got to be able to turn that around and send your energy out there as well. You're rolling the 10 out there, right? Of love, honor, respect. You want to help heal each other and things like that as well. And that's what I experienced yesterday uh, when I was out and about. Is I kept feeling a pain in my leg. I was like, man, what's going on? But I've identified it, because when I felt a pain before, it was somebody surrounded me that was having an attachment of some kind, and it constantly was attacking their leg. So it wasn't that it was hurting my leg, I just felt it. I could empathically sense this, and I was feeling the pain, and I was looking everywhere going, man, who needs healing? Who needs healing, right? And trying to identify, shoot the energy out somewhere. It's identifying these things, right? Because there's something that's trying to get into your aura field, right? Your auric field. And you got to be able to identify it and understand it better. Because once we identify this stuff, humanity is going to advance a lot, right? Identify all the objects in your house. Say, hey, that object has a lot of negative energy. I got to get rid of it, right? And get rid of it. Throw it away. Get rid of it. Um, and that helps cleanse and purify your house, so then you're not constantly battling over these different kind of energies, these different kind of synergies, right? That's been my whole goal, is trying to create solutions for everybody's issues, right? Because we had a lot of spiritual activity in here, man. Like, my action figures were getting knocked over and everything. I knew there's a lot going on. Um, and everything. So things have started to calm down, Thank goodness. It's just because you got to be able to stand your ground, um, and fill out the energies, right? Fill out the vibrations. And it extends beyond that because I focus on that. So it's not just my house, but I focus on my town, then I focus on outside the town and just the different energies, and focus on the energies online and things of that nature. So it really creates an interesting situation of downloading all of these different kind of energies, right? And identifying them more and more and more. So we become mature with this and start the healing process and rewiring the mainframe, because that's the ultimate goal, is to rewire the mainframe. You don't like the way things are, you have to rewire it, right? And that starts with cleaning out your house, getting rid of objects that no longer serve you, getting rid of objects of the past, things like that, so you can begin to be anew, right? And at the end of the day, meditation is key, learning how to cleanse out your being. And then, like I said, Christ is my rock and foundation. So learning how to be anointed spiritually. So when you're going through deep meditation, you want to seek out that anointing, that deliverance, so we can cleanse out your being. So then you're purified yourself daily. You got to purify yourself daily, because you can have all these little parasites and little creatures that can begin to leech on your aura field, and then start to mess with your head and your emotions. Um, and you got to be able to identify that. If you don't, then you're going to be confused and go, man, what's going on? So you got to be able to identify it. So that's why it's important to write it down as well. Say, hey, I felt this way. I was in this situation. Or, hey, I had this object I found. This is how I felt. And then when I got rid of the object, this is how I feel now, right? Identify these things. That's key. Identify. That's definitely been something I've been talking about a lot, is identifying everything in your life so you can make your life better and continue to expand on your spiritual journey as well. So I can keep talking forever. Hopefully you guys get something out of this. But yeah, it's time to start cleansing your house, getting rid of objects that no longer serve you or that could be negative energies. Get rid of them, as well as outside, and then start sending the energies that you want in your house, your will and intent within your house, so it becomes your house, and you could begin to also shield your house, right? And you can even summon guardians and things of that nature as well, right? That's what I was showed through meditation, is, hey, you can summon big giants to guard your temple, right? And that's what I did, right? It's part of the imagination, but that's how creation works. Imagination is creation, and it's misunderstood because people don't know what this reality is, what a spiritual journey is, what we're dealing with, right? Life is more spiritual than is physical. I've always said that. Life is more spiritual than is physical. And once you identify that, a lot of things begin to make sense. And when things begin to make sense, things can become simpler, because you're identifying these things as well. So I could definitely talk more about identifying, but yeah, just start cleansing out your house, looking for objects, get rid of the objects that no longer serve you, negative energy, things of that nature, and then just start building up your house into the will and intent and energy that you want within your household and within your life. So yeah, if you got any questions and concerns, let me know. Hopefully you got something out of this. I'll talk to you later.